we have a tendency as a people, and this is all people of faith, all Christians, we look at the stories contained within the scriptures and we kind of instinctively say, wow, look at these exceptional experiences. Look at these exceptional people. And the inverse of that is, this will never happen to me, but there's probably things I can learn from this. Like, they're really good to read about. No, that's the wrong perspective. The reason that the Lord has put the scriptures together, the way in which he's put the scriptures together, is not to make you feel like these are exceptional people experiencing exceptional events. He's trying to show you and to teach you that these experiences are meant to be had by each of us. The problem is most of us choose not to have those experiences.
They're normal people who became exceptional through the gospel.
Yes, and we overlook that. We overlook that far too often. The stories, the miracles, the blessings contained within the scriptures, the Bible and the Book of Mormon, the Lord is trying to tell you as a son or daughter of God, these same experiences can be yours. Now, they're going to differ. They're not going to be what some of these other people have gone through. It's going to be specific to you and what you need and what the Lord knows you have to come into his presence. That's ultimately what he's seeking. Your path will be slightly different than my path, but ultimately he is saying, just as these other people have done, you can enter my presence as well and inherit all that the Father has through me. Like, that's what he's trying to illustrate to us in the scriptures. So stop pushing them back, thinking this is meant for those unique people who are special, and start embracing them, saying, how can I start working towards having these experiences in my life and allowing the Spirit to operate like that in my life? And as you start thinking about it that way, the Spirit will change within you. I mean, you will start to be transformed and start to truly have experiences that are exceptional. And as you write them down, what are you doing? You're essentially writing scripture for your family, for your posterity. I've had these transformative experiences. Let me tell you what's happened to me in my life. This becomes another witness to your family of things that the Spirit has worked within you. Allow that to work within you. Embrace these stories. Apply them to your life and make them part of who you are. And then you will be able to bear witness of them and pass that legacy on to your posterity.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful. I mean, that really ties the entire Book of Mormon. Like, it connects it to us personally at an individual level. Like, what those prophets did, we should be doing individually for our posterity.
Correct.
That's an amazing lesson. It really is. And from time to time, you hear about families that have journals from their father or their grandfather that have very amazing experiences and revelations in them. And of course, when you hear them, you kind of say, yeah, well, that's not scripture, that's not doctrine, but the truth is that was a spiritual experience that person had, and it's special and meaningful to that family.
Yeah.
And that's the patriarchal order, essentially, that at work. So, yeah, that's not scripture. You can't consider that scripture for the church.
For the church, correct.
For the world.
Yeah.
But that can provide meaning, stability, spiritual foundations, and strength for that family and for that posterity. And that's part of the fullness of the gospel.
That's right.
Is that we, right, like Moses said, that we could all be prophets unto the Lord. He wasn't saying that we could all speak for Israel, for the church. He's saying that we could all individually have a relationship with God and provide for our families spiritually.
Yep.
And work to bring ourselves and our families unto God.
Yeah.
And that is the most efficient and effective way for the gospel to operate in our lives.
Yeah. Well, and the truth is, as you sync and align your life, the way in which these individuals and these families within the scriptures we see, the truths that you receive, the experiences you're going to have, the way in which the Spirit operates within you is not going to contradict or be outside the lines or the bounds of which the Lord has already revealed. So if things are being done appropriately and accordingly, any of these experiences you have that are going to transform you are going to be in line with revealed truth that God has already opened to the world, right? So you write these things down as a patriarch or as a matriarch of your family. You pass on these things to your children, and they're unique to you. It will bond you and your posterity, and yet all of that truth will still be circumscribed into the eternal gospel of Jesus Christ and into the eternal plan that the Father has for us. You're not going outside the bounds. It isn't Scripture for the entire world to have, but it may be Scripture that your posterity needs to read and say, not only are the Scriptures bearing witness of these things and how transformative they can be, but my grandfather or my grandmother or my mother or father, they've had these transformational experiences in their life as well.
This person that I know, that I knew, that I can relate with, that is meaningful to me, had these experiences.
Yep.
How great of a witness is that to you, that you too can go through those and have those same experiences? And sometimes that's way more powerful than reading about some prophets that you never knew.
Seems so far
hundreds
off.
or thousands of years ago, right? That like it might be difficult to connect with that.
Yeah.
But when you're reading it and it was your father, it was your grandfather, right? That's personal. That's emotional. That's meaningful. Right? Of course, that's going to have value and have merit.